So when I did that exercise where you imagine what kind of outfit your vagina would wear if it could be dressed in clothing, mine was wearing a black leather motorcycle jacket and hot pink boxing gloves, which is, basically, I realized, the sartorial equivalent of a giant do not enter sign. And that's because I have a condition, and it's called vulvodynia, which is a lot of syllables to say, my vagina hurts. And I have a particular subset of this called vulvar vestibulitis, which is even more syllables to say that the vestibulitis, the entryway, or in New England terms, the mudroom of my vagina hurts sometimes a lot. And it's hard to get things and people inside when it really hurts. And as you might imagine, this caused me a lot of pain and emotional distress over the years. And finally, in my middle 30s, I decided to get professional help. And so I went to this awesome woman named Amy in New York City, where I was living, and she was a pelvic physical therapist. And I went in for something called pelvic floor massage. And I was a little skeptical about this, but I needed help, so I went in first time, laid down on her table, and we got right to it. She, pulled out her hand, her gloved hand, and it was kind of like being at the gynecologist, yet not, and it was kind of like sexy time, but not. And she starts working these trigger points, like deep inside, and I'm like, whoa! I did not know it hurt exactly that much, that place. Ow, 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 ow. And then after a little while, though, she would just press and hold, and after a while, I was like, oh, And I realized it was like getting a deep tissue massage, but for my vagina, which was really great because my vagina started to relax. And Amy gave me homework. She gave me something called Kegels, which maybe you've heard of, and something called reverse Kegels, which maybe you haven't heard of. And there was a wand involved that I was supposed to do stuff with, and I did it. I did my vagina homework. And I was seeing Amy, and then I met a guy who I really wanted in my vestibule. And I was able to have him there, and it was very exciting and good. And it was so good, and things went so well. We got married, and we had a baby, and we moved from New York City to beautiful Northampton. And then I stopped doing my vagina homework. I was a busy, tired mom, and Amy, who had become like vagina rock star famous at this point, was in New York City, and I wasn't doing my homework, and that was just making my vestibule hurt more, and I just didn't even want to think about it. I kind of just wanted to be Barbie down there, just smooth, no vagina. I just wanted to send my vagina on vacation somewhere and not have to think about it, because it made me feel lousy. It made me feel like I was broken, in this very fundamental way. And that wasn't healthy for me or my husband or our relationship. So we consulted a different kind of professional help this time. Went to a lovely sex therapist here in Northampton, a British woman who says things like, we're all sitting on our genitals all the time. But most of the time, we pretend like they don't exist. And it's true, right? We're sitting here on our genitals, mostly not thinking about it, right? And I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to talk to my closest friends about it. I felt so much shame and that brokenness and then this loneliness. So the sex therapist thought that maybe I could break through some of this and start doing my vagina homework if I just would talk to some people about this and start opening up more. I think she meant one or two people. But here we are. And the crazy part is 15% of all women have this kind of real intense vagina pain. And that's millions of women sitting on vaginas that hurt, and they're not talking about it. So for them and for me, thank you for hearing my story.